In today's video, I am going to teach you how to perform a one-sample t-test in Excel. To begin, you will set up a simple sheet that holds your sample measurements and the results you will compute. In Excel, look at the top left area where you can label your column. Type measurement data into cell A1. This label helps you and anyone watching your spreadsheet understand what the numbers in the column represent, which becomes especially important once you start calculating statistics. Next, you will enter your sample values. Fill cells A2 through A11 with your sample scores. Make sure you are consistent with the scale and units of your data, since the t-test assumes these observations are all from the same measurement type. If you have fewer or more than 10 values, you can adjust the range, but for this walkthrough, keep the data in A2, A11, so the formulas match exactly. Now that the raw data is in place, you will calculate the average, which is the sample mean. Click cell B2. Then type the formula =average A2, A10. After you enter it, press enter to calculate. This formula averages your measurements and gives you the central value of your sample. Notice the range in the formula goes through A2 to A10, so it uses 10 values in that range. If your data entry matches that range, the calculation will be correct. Once the mean is computed, you will calculate how spread out the data is around the mean by using the sample standard deviation. Click cell B3 and type ttest. Press enter. The ttest ATDV1, press enter. The ttest function calculates the sample standard deviation, which is the version appropriate for inferential tests when you are working with a sample rather than the full population. This value is important because the t-statistic depends on both the mean and the variability. Next, you will capture your total sample size. Click cell B4 and type =count A2, A10. Press enter. Count counts the number of numeric entries in the specified range, which tells you how many observations are being used in your calculations. Having the correct sample size is essential because the standard error shrinks or expands depending on n. Now you will enter your historical baseline or target value, which is the value you are comparing the sample mean against. Click cell B5 and type your baseline target value, for example, 50. Take a moment to confirm that this baseline is expressed in the same units as your sample scores. If your sample measurements are, say, test scores out of 100, then your baseline should also be a score out of 100. With the mean, standard deviation, sample size, and baseline all entered, you are ready to compute the t-statistic, which measures how far the sample mean is from the baseline relative to the expected random variation. Click cell B6 and type $B2B5/B3/SQRT-B4. Press enter. This formula uses the difference between your sample mean and your baseline, then divides by the standard error. The denominator is your standard deviation divided by the square root of the sample size, which is exactly what the one-sample t-test requires. Finally, you will calculate the two-tailed p-value, which tells you the probability of observing a t-statistic at least as extreme as the one you calculated, assuming the baseline is true. Click cell B7 and type ttest 2t abs B6 B41. Press enter. Here, abs B6 ensures the calculation uses the magnitude of the t-statistic, regardless of whether the mean is above or below the baseline. The degrees of freedom are B4-1, which is the standard choice for a one-sample t-test. At this point, you have completed the one-sample t-test workflow in Excel. Your cell B6 gives the t-statistic, and your cell B7 gives the two-tailed p-value, which you can use to assess statistical significance based on your chosen alpha level. And that covers everything you need to know.